to the entertainment Talking Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. I just posted a video about Antonio Pierce being, potentially, brought on as the New York Giants linebacker coach. It's being speculated. Nothing is concrete there. I want to reiterate that. But as soon as I posted, all my subscribers posted news to me that Jason Garrett is being brought in for an interview for the offensive coordinator position for the New York Giants. That does not mean that he has the job yet. This came out about 45 minutes ago while I was filming. And Jason Garrett, to me, I've done videos on him. I'm a fan of him as an offensive coordinator. I'm going to get into why in this video in case you haven't watched him in the past. But I'm definitely a fan of him as an OC. I was not a fan of him as a head coach. To me, he underachieved in Dallas. I know he had a good record. I know he won a Coach of the Year award. But he had unbelievable talent. And I thought that he underachieved. I think they won one or two playoff games his whole tenure there over a 9 or 10 year span. And, they should have done a lot better than that as far as I'm concerned. With the offensive line they had, the players on their defense, they had one of the most talented rosters in the sport. And I thought that Jason Garrett did not do that good of a job. You listen to Dallas Cowboys fans, they all question a lot of his play calling. But in terms of an offensive coordinator, this guy has had a lot of success in the NFL. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. I wanted to pull up the quote just going over the fact that he will be in New Jersey today to interview for the position with the New York Giants. Jason Garrett is in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and interviewing Wednesday with head coach Joe Judge to be the next offensive coordinator of the New York Giants. A person with knowledge of the meeting confirmed to NorthJersey.com and USA Today Network Northeast. The person spoke on the condition of it remaining anonymous because they were not authorized to speak on the team's plans. Mike Garofalo of the NFL Network first reported the news. Garrett's contract with the Cowboys reportedly expired Tuesday, so the Giants were able to talk to him freely and without permission from Jerry Jones. So that's the reason that this took so long. Because the contract, I suppose, did not expire until Tuesday. The Giants said, we'll wait it out. And this might be the reason, and probably is the reason, that the New York Giants had not named their offensive coordinator yet. My guess is, a lot of people question, why did you bring in the quarterback coach before you brought in the offensive coordinator? My guess is they probably already had a verbal agreement with Jason Garrett. My guess is he's going to become the offensive coordinator. If he does, I will have a video on it. Talking about more in depth on that. I will be out tonight. I probably will not be home until around 9:30, so maybe even closer to 10. But if the news comes out, I will post it on the channel. In terms of Jason Garrett as an offensive coordinator, I've spoke on it many times. I'm a fan of him as an OC. I'm not a fan of him as a head coach. I think he'd be great for the development of Daniel Jones. And I know the big worry with Giants fans is I don't want Jason Garrett on the staff because if the current head coach, Joe Judge, does not do well, Jason Garrett may get the head coaching position. And that's fair to say, but you know what? You can't worry about that. Right now, the biggest concern for this football team is Daniel Jones' development. And I think of the guys out there, Jason Garrett is the guy that's, incredibly accomplished there. You look at what he did with Tony Romo. Tony Romo came into the league, undrafted quarterback, out of a small school, no expectations. 2005 he didn't play. 2006 he played pretty good. Then Garrett came in as the offensive coordinator. And obviously Romo was a top 5, 6, 7 quarterback there for a 6, 7 year stretch under Jason Garrett. He did a great job. Tony Romo, credits him. And that is the major reason why Jason Garrett became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, because the work he did as an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the football team. He then later, Dak Prescott, same thing. Dak Prescott as a head coach, a guy, I think it was a 3rd or 4th round pick, a guy that did not have very high expectations. Romo went down with an injury. Dak stepped in, and Garrett once again, deserve, I suppose, some of the credit for that being that he's a former quarterback. He actually played with the Giants his last year in the NFL, started as a quarterbacks coach throughout his career, and then, came on with the Dallas Cowboys there and got the most out of Dak Prescott and Tony Romo. So I suppose he deserves a lot of credit for both of those players. And I actually would be in favor of bringing on Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator. I know, like I said, some people may not like it. They get scared. Jason Garrett, Mr. Clapp, he sucked as head coach. We're not talking about head coach. We're talking about OC. And that, to me, is the most important position on this coaching staff outside of the head coach. Because you have the second-year quarterback of Daniel Jones. You want to make sure that this guy does not take a dip. And the fact that he has had success with quarterbacks in the past, getting the most out of quarterbacks with much less expectations than that of a Daniel Jones. Tony Romo, like I said, undrafted. Dak Prescott, many people thought would never be a starter in the NFL. Both of them reached Pro Bowl level under Jason Garrett. So to me, and obviously they had a good offensive line, that helps. But to me, Daniel Jones, that's what we got to think about here when we hire the offensive coordinator. And Jason Garrett has been a very successful offensive coordinator in the past. It's why he got the head coaching gig. So I'm all for it. Bring on Garrett if he wants the job. I'm guessing he's going to get it. That's probably why they waited as long as they did. They wanted to wait until they didn't have to get permission from Jerry Jones. They bring on the former Cowboys head coach to be the OC. Obviously, he's been linked to the Giants before. Him and John Mara have a very good relationship, supposedly, being that he played here. And I think it makes a lot of sense to be the offensive coordinator. I think it'd be a really good hire. He brings experience, something a lot of people have clamored for. He'd be our most experienced coach on the staff. And I think it's a good fit, especially for the quarterback, because we need some experience there. So, we'll see what happens, guys. And if news breaks, I'll have it up on the page at some point today. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.